Hi, in this episode we'll have a brief look at Data Persistence Ember Data library. This library is quite complex and it's still not in final version, but it's pretty close. First, let's have a quick overview of all parts of this library. Again, we start our adventure from the route object, which, as we already know, is responsible for providing model. When using Ember Data, we've got store object, which stores all available objects of our application. And to get it, we sent message to the store. Hey, I need friend object with ID 1. Store looks for this object in itself, but as we asked for it for the first time, there is no such an object, so it returns promise back to route object and then asks adapter to provide this object for him. So adapter's responsibility is to communicate with server. It knows what to do to get this object, what URL to use, how to construct request, what HTTP verb to use, everything. So it returns promise and using this knowledge makes the request to the server. But you know, there could be some problems with communication between server and JavaScript application. In JavaScript, we use camel case for variable names, for example, while in Ruby, we use snake case. So adapter also uses serializer to make such transformations automatic. So server responds with object, adapter gets this object and adapts it to our application with the help of serializer, then it returns it to store, and store caches it and resolves promise by returning this object to the route object. So next time this or any other router controller objects ask for this friend with ID 1, store will find it in its identity map and will return it immediately without messaging adapter and thus without accessing server. So this is a basic picture of how Ember Data works. So now let's install Ember Data, which is for now in a beta. So we go to Ember.js.com and we go to Builds, and here we go under the beta and scroll down to Ember Data Beta Builds and download the latest one. We will download this one, minimal package, and I will save link as, and I will save this file into my code folder, starter kit, JavaScript, libs. Okay, so now we need to include it in the index file. So let's go to index here. And right here at the bottom, let's add Ember Data min.js. So now we save it and go to browser to our application, reload the page. And if now we go to the console, we'll see here that we're using Ember Data Beta 7. Excellent. So let's go to app.js file. Now we need to specify adapter to communicate with server. So we're gonna use REST adapter. So for that, right here at the top, I will define application adapter, which equals to DS REST adapter. And I will extend it because I need to provide at least one option, the host option. So the host option tells application where the server resides. So it resides HTTP localhost 4567. So this is how we specify adapter for the Ember Data. So if we worked with Rails as our server application, we could use active model adapter. So now we have our model like a simple Ember object. To transform it in Ember Data, we just need to define it as ds model extend. So as model is also the Ember object, it can use computed properties as well. But what we want to add now is attributes for this model. So these attributes will be used by serializer to convert data. So we have the first name and we specify the attribute with the help of ds error, and as a parameter we provide the type of this attribute. By default it's string. So we'll also have last name and about, and also we'll have birthday, which is ds error date, and best, which is ds error boolean. So now we have friend model. Great. So now we need to go to the friends route. So let's scroll down to the friends route. Here it is. Here we did the manual request to get the JSON and then to convert the response to our friend object. We do not need to do anything like that when we use Ember Data. What we want to do is to ask store for object. So we ask store to find the friend object, and if we do not specify the ID, it means that we want to find all the collection. So what it does, it actually will send get request to friends. How does it know what to do? Well, adapter knows it, because adapter is a REST adapter, and by the REST standards, when we want to get the collection, we make the get request with the name of this collection pluralized. So let's run server and let's try it out. If we reload the page right now, we need to get rid of this 5 seconds and remove this sleep 5. And let's rerun our server. And let's go to browser and reload the page. And we fail in. And we fail in because adapter expects a little different response. It expects response to have an object root. So, for example, if we go to the localhost France, you can see that the response is the array of objects. But what adapter expects is the object with the key friends, and this key friends need to have this array of objects. That is called object root. So to fix it, we need to change server response slightly. So let's go back to app.rb, and here in France, instead of return just France, we'll do friends, France. Okay, let's save it. Restart. Now in the browser, if we reload this page, you can see that we have this object root, France. And inside of this France, we have array. So if we try it now, it works. Excellent. We do not even need to do anything, right? So we fetched France. Great. And also you can see that we do not need to do anything with the birthday date, right? So it tells us that it's 29 years. Earlier we took returned value and transformed it into JavaScript data object, but now Serializer took care of it all, because we specified it in Ember Data model that birthday should be a date. Let me show you. Right here. Okay, let's try something else. Let's go to friends about route. Again, we're doing a lot of job here, but we do not need to anymore because we're using store. This time we find and store friend object with ID params friend ID, like this. Again, in application.rb file, where we have the friend here, we should add friend object root. Okay, that was pretty easy. Let's restart the server and try it out. It works. Great. Now to the new page. So we need to create new friends. So let's go to the friends new controller here, and we need to change this create action. So first of all, here we do not need to copy anything. We need to create friends record in the store. So we'll do something like this. This store create record. Then we specified what kind of record we want to create, friend, and then we specify the attributes. So the first name is this get first name, and here we have the last name, and here we have about. We do not need this friends anymore, so we can delete needs and friends from here. Why? Because in friends route right here, we bind model to store entrance named friends. So now when we create new record, it immediately appears in the friends list. That's why we do not need to push it there, because it's already there in the store. Okay? So we need the controller just to redirect again back to friends route. So after we have this new friend, we created this record, instead of this thing, we just make the new friend save. And this save method, with the help of adapter, will send the post request to the server to create new friend. And it will return promise, of course. So this way we do not need to do anything with date, and we do not need to push objects to the collection because it's already there. So all we need to do is to transition to the friends route. So let's try it out. Let's reload the page and try to create new user. And we'll have an error And we have a problem with the cross-domain request. For Ember Data, we need to specify more information in Sinatra app than we do now. So let's do it very simply with the rec course rec application. So first of all, we need to go to terminal and to install gem rec course. Next, in the app.rb file, we require this rec course, and after that we need to use this rec course app and allow everything. So we allow origins, anything, and resources, also anything, with any header and with any methods like get, post, and options. So basically what happens here is, with the help of this rec course application, we just allow any cross-domain requests. So now if we go back to terminal and start server and try it again, now we have another error. And this error is Sinatra specific, so I won't be focusing on it in details, but we can't use params object like we did before. So if we go back here in post friends, we're using the params. But now we can't do that because Ember Data, or to be specific, REST adapter, sends JSON request, not HTTP request. So if we go back here and let's have a look in the network, we'll see here that the request headers is application JSON. So this is a JSON request. But Sinatra params takes only HTTP requests. So basically it's empty now. So we need to parse params by ourselves. So let's do this. I will do the params equal, and we'll do it with the help of JSON. So we'll JSON parse the request body, read, and then we'll take the friend part of it. Okay, so we need this JSON. So let's scroll back here and just require JSON. And also, of course, do not forget about our object root. So we'll do friend, like this. So now let's have a look. Let's go back to terminal, restart server, and let's try it out. Okay, we are redirected back. We actually have the ID, so it works. Great. Okay, let's add another sleep to this particular route. So here in post friends, I'm gonna add another sleep 5. And let's restart server, reload our application. Let's go to the add new friend and let's create one. And you can see that while this friend is not yet saved, it's already in the list. Again, that happens because we bound store to this friends controller, and when we create new record, it is saved into store immediately, and that's why we see it right away. Maybe that's not the behavior we want to have. Let's say we want only saved, only persistent models to be displayed in this list. Ember Data model has several states. One of them is isNew, which can be used to make sure that model is just created but not yet saved, and it changes to false when adapter sends information that this model is saved. So let's use it. We go to index.html here, and where we iterate through our model, let's add a simple conditional here. We'll do unless friend is new. Then we display it, and we need to close this unless. So if it's not new, if it's already been saved to the database or to the server, it doesn't matter, then we display it in the list. If it's new, we do not display it. So now if we go back to browser and try it again, you will see that nothing happens here, and only when we take the response from the server, we see that it is saved. Great. Okay, in this episode we just made our first steps with Ember Data. It's quite complex and featureful package, and it's out of the scope of this course, but I hope you've got an idea of how it works. You can learn more about it in Ember.js guides under model section and by reading its API. So, for your assignment, if you feel adventurous, choose one way you prefer to communicate with server, manually or with the help of Ember Data, and shift data to server for your library application. So it should work the same as it works now, but using server for persistence. So thank you very much for your time, and see you in the next episode.